Hello everyone and welcome to Crisanne's colouring class for adults. I was recently inspired to create this series of online colouring tutorials when I was given a book by Johanna Basford called Enchanted Forest. It's an absolutely beautiful book. She has created this magical world for us to explore with different colouring in techniques, and I really love the imagery and the shapes in the drawings. They're really fun and free and creative to play with. She has another book out called The Secret Garden, and there's one coming out as well soon called Lost Ocean. And she has kindly allowed me to create these tutorials based on her books. So I'm very honoured for that privilege. Thank you, Johanna. Today we're going to explore a technique that I like to call one colour shading. Now we're going to use many different colours throughout the drawing, and we're going to be gradating the colours across the page to create overall depth and dimension through colour. However, within each shape we're only going to be using one pencil, but we're going to be exploring the full tonal range of those pencils, and within each shape we're also going to be creating three-dimensionality as much as possible through tonal variation. In the next episode we will start to blend more colours together, and we will also in the future use different textures and different mediums in our drawings, but today is more about exploring colour and the tonal range and using each pencil to the best of their ability or to their maximum capacity. So let's get started. Today we're going to be working from the book by Johanna called Enchanted Forest, and the drawing that we're working on is about the 21st drawing in the book, and it's of little Mr. Wolf here. And the reason I chose this one is because it's got a couple of larger areas to show shading in a large area, and then it's got some beautiful detail here as well. And we're all familiar with the shape of an animal and the way that his body will be darker down here and darker in this area as well, and then going lighter up to the tail. Now, for me, the most important part of colouring in is actually having a test page to be able to get your pencil colours and test the tonal range of the shading that the pencil can achieve. And sometimes you need to try a few different colours to get the right one. I really love this grey. I use this grey a lot in different things, and I can see that I can get quite a dark tone, and I can also get some really nice lighter detail as well out of this colour, which is what I want, because I want my tail to get to be quite light at the top. And I'm just going to start by shading in the tail. Now when I'm shading in larger areas, I like to kind of cover that area first and get a bit of flat pencil happening the whole way over. Now I'm not going to worry about it being a little bit textured because it's fur. It can be a little bit liney and a little bit textured. But I'm going to go over and work all over this whole area in a lot of detail, but I just want to block in the lighter colours first in the biggest part. Once I've got a bit of an even colour happening, I can then go the other way as well to even out the texture a bit. And then it's got a bit of an interesting texture in there. And then I can go into where I want it to be darker and start darkening in that area. And so obviously a tail is round and it's coming up from the bottom. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to make things darker around the edges and moving into the center and tapering off and getting a little lighter. And as I go up the side of the tail, I'm not going to be as dark into those tips. In fact, I'm being quite light now Just creating a little bit of roundness, but still tapering it off every single time, tapering off into the center. And coming back and working. What I want to avoid is having edges in my shading. I want it to flow and to gradate evenly. Now I'm going to move down to the feet as well, and again blocking in all of the lighter tone. And I think this foot shape is a really good example of when the light hits a circular object, you want a darker shade underneath, as dark as the pencil will go, so we're fully saturating the page at the bottom. And then as I work up, I'm just going to soften the pressure and create a curve. And then at the top, I'm also going to create a little bit of a shadow and soften it out from the edge, but I'm not going to make it as deep as the bottom part. It's a little bit less, and then it creates a circular shape. So now that I've decided I'm happy with all of my grey shading, I'm going to just go to my test page here and test this colour. And it's a really nice, fun, happy purple, quite light. So I'm going to pick out some areas, mainly at the top here and a little bit here, and maybe a couple of leaves here to do in the lighter colour. And with each shape, I'm going to start by shading in lightly, getting an overall colour, and then I'm going to choose where to put the darkness. And on this leaf, I'm going to put it here and into this corner here, so that his little ear has a little bit of roundness going into the centre there. But I'm also bringing out the shape of the leaf at the same time. Just do the same on the other one, and then I'll pick out some other light purple areas to do. So I've decided now that's enough purple, and I've put the purple all around the face, the legs and the tail, and then just a little bit around the neck and taken it into the body a tiny bit. And the rest I'm going to do with blues. So I'm going to start with my lighter blues around here and tip here, and then I'm going to go into darker blue down here. And then I think I might even take the darker blue over into these little leg feathers here. And then I'm going to do a mid or a light blue all through the face and kind of complement the two colours together, so that then we've got a body of blue and a body of purple, but with the blue going into the purple body a little and the purple coming into the blue parts of the body a little as well. Anyway, so starting with my lightest blue that I want to use, I'm just going to test this one, and it's a nice soft sky blue, so I'm happy with that. And the last thing that I have to do is block in all of the grey of the body now. Now there's such a thing called saturating the page, and this darker purple down here and the darker blue, it's been saturated, so I can colour quite easily into the centres now with my grey and not really worry too much about staying in the lines, because even when I go over into a saturated area of a page, I somehow don't go into that colour. Now I have to be a little more careful in this area because this is the lighter end of the leaves, and that page is not as saturated as down in the darker areas. So I'm going to be a little more careful around here. And when I get to the edge of my wolf, he doesn't have any lines. He has a line down here denoting his edge, but he doesn't have a line here, so I'm just going to taper him off to nothingness, to ever so lightly, and then I'm going to darken the grey into there. There we go. So just topping it off with a pink nose there. And the only thing left is the eye, so I'm going to get a really pale blue and just dot in the eye, because I kind of like it being a little brighter than everything else. And there we go. Mr. Wolf is all done, and I think he looks quite beautiful, doesn't he? And he's got a lot of shape in his body. He's much lighter up here, darker through here, darker in the legs, and then lighter up again into the tail. Lots of fun colour. All the shapes are shaded. Every single area has depth and dimension, so there's not one area that has been where I've used a flat technique. It's all varied. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and episode 2 will be coming out soon, so stay tuned, and until then, take care. Bye.